We'll start with the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavato Sahanau Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Panchadasi, chapter 1, Tattva Viveka Prakaranam. We have done this chapter for the last several weeks. We have come up to the 53rd verse today. We'll be starting the 53rd verse. There are about 13 more verses left. And what we have seen, see, this is a very beautiful chapter, very well constructed chapter, very well designed chapter. It straightaway tells us our nature is Satchit Ananda. I keep saying the same message every week. And when we hear this message, we may not understand the full impact of this message. We get some vague idea about our nature. It takes time for us to realize the real meaning of this, because it's a very, very subtle topic. It is a spiritual topic. It is not an objective science. It is a spiritual science, where we have to understand the truth of the entire universe. Before we can understand our own nature, we have to understand how this creation comes about. So therefore, this chapter not only describes our nature as Satchidananda, it also told us how this creation comes about. Then we started looking at the way in which the Mahavakya is treated by the seeker. We all study the Upanishads, and in the Upanishads there are certain Vakyams, there are certain verses which directly tells us the relationship between the jiva and the Paramatma. So by and large, we have seen how these verses open up the subject matter of the subject in us. Generally, what happens is, after all this is done, the authors, including in the Bhagavad Gita, everywhere, you will find that the Upanishads, they realize that the mind of a person, of a seeker, may not be as developed as it is required by the scriptures. So towards the end of chapter 1, Viara Swami, the author of this Panchadasi, consisting of 15 chapters, he gives us a glimpse of Upasana. He gives us a glimpse of how meditation can help in understanding this truth. Now, that is what we are going to start seeing from the 53rd verse onwards, which is our topic today. 53rd verse and the 54th verse, they introduce the three processes which are involved in realization, which is very well known to you: Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. From 55th verse onwards to 60th verse. 6 verses are there. In these 6 verses, a very advanced process of meditation is discussed. Then the 61st verse talks about the fruit of meditation. And the last 4 verses, 62 to 65, they tell us how jnanam of Atma destroys ajnana, destroys the ignorance we have about ourselves. And then the chapter ends. So we are going to start a very beautiful section today, and slowly we are going to go to a very, very deep topic, which is very, very deep in our mind, in the sense that it is meditation at a higher level. I will go through these verses, but let us see how we can pick up the inner meaning of these verses as we go along. So I'll start with the 53rd verse now. First, we will see how Vijaya chants this.
Ityam vakyaistadartha Ityam vakyaistadartha Anusandhanam shravanam bhavet Anusandhanam shravanam bhavet Yuktya sambhavatir tattva Yuktya sambhavati tattva Anusandhanam mananantu tat Anusandhanam mananantu tat.
What is the gist of this verse? Let's try to understand the verse. Then we'll go through the slides. I will go through some important points in the slides. May not be all line by line, but in all these sections from 53rd onwards to 65th verse, I will try to give you the gist, and then you can go through the slides at your own pace once you understand the meaning of these verses. In this verse, the 53rd verse, Vidyaranya tells us what is the goal of our spiritual efforts. What is the final goal? The final goal, according to Vidyaranya, is the identity of the individual self and the Supreme Self is the same. I'll explain this to you, then it will be very clear to you. See, the whole creation, the way Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, they generally describe, the creation consists of 2 things. I, the individual, which is the self. There is a self behind this body that is called as the Atma. Okay? Then I am not only this body and mind, but I also see the world. I have a perception of the whole Jagat. According to the scriptures, they say that the Jagat which we see in front of us, what we perceive as the world, is the body of Ishvara. The entire totality, including my body, is Ishvara. This body has got Atma as the self, as the inner truth. The essence behind this body is what? Consciousness, existence, bliss, Satchidananda. If this is the truth behind my body, The Upanishads say that the truth behind this entire cosmos is the same. This cosmos is what is called as Paramatma, the supreme being. I am a being, there is a supreme being, cosmic being. That is what we chant. When we chant the Purusha Suktam, we are chanting the glory of cosmic being. Very, very famous Suktam, Purusha Suktam. Try to understand, if you ever get a chance, go through the meanings of those verses in Purusha Suktam. It's available in shortly. I'll be putting it up in the website also, in my website Purusha Suktam, the verses and how are they generally chanted. I will add that also. So Purusha means cosmic being. Now, this verse says that the self in me and the self in the cosmic being is one and the same. Okay, this is what we have seen many times in the Mahavakya. And how is this? How do we try to understand this? First of all, there is something called as Shravanam. The process is divided into three parts of knowing this oneness. The self in me is the self in all. That is the goal. How to know this? Shravanam, mananam, nididhyasana. This verse talks about Shravanam and mananam. The next verse will talk about nididhyasana. Now you got the picture, right? Very good. So this verse is talking us slowly now, it is now introducing us how to realize this self through meditation. What is the process which is involved? And ultimately, what is the fruit of this entire knowledge? That is what is the topic between 53rd verse till 65th verse, the last verse of this chapter. So 13 verses are there dealing with this topic of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasnam, and then the final fruit of knowing this knowledge, which is Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti. Shravanam means understanding the meaning of Mahavakya. That is the central essence. Okay, you will be doing the entire Upanishadic study. Shravanam means prasthana trayam, listening to a guru. You may listen from any of the talks in the webs, in any Swamiji's talks of these three topics. What these three texts? What is it? What are the three texts? Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra is very difficult to find, but that is these are the three primary texts for understanding I am Atma, the entire supreme being which is represented by the whole world is also in essence the same consciousness existence. It's a very big topic. That's why we have such a huge amount of literature available in India. There's many commentaries, thousands of commentaries of Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and Brahma Sutra. It will take several lifetimes if you want to go through even some of those commentaries. Even if you say, I want to just study commentary of Shankaracharya, one lifetime is not enough. So much is there. Shravanam is very easy. Listening to the scriptures is called as Shravanam. Mananam, what is Mananam? Mananam is the possibility of arriving at a conclusion that I am of the nature of consciousness, and the Paramatma is also of the nature of consciousness. This conviction which we can get in our intellect through logical reasoning and contemplation. See, reasoning is involved, and also your mind should think. In the way the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita or the Panchadasi, the way they open up the topic, your mind should start contemplating on those verses. That is called as mananam. So this verse defines what is Shravanam and what is mananam. The spiritual journey is basically to know who I am. I am, what is the answer to that? I am Satchid Ananda. In simple terms, I am a conscious being, which we all are. You all agree that you are conscious and you are an essence in this entire universe. But I don't know what is the nature of this consciousness with reference to the world. That is called as ignorance. Through this study, you and I, all of us now know I am conscious. But how does this consciousness exist in this universe as the very substratum of the universe, without which the universe doesn't exist? That is something which I have to contemplate and conclude. We have to use the shastric logic. We can't use our own logic. We have to use the reasoning given by the scriptures. So the spiritual journey, many times I have said, consists of jiva, jagat, ishvara. Who is God? What is this world? What is this world about? What is the relationship between in the world, and so on? And what are the topics covered in our study? Panchakosha Viveka, Mahavakya Vichara. What are the objections by different philosophers about the nature of the self? How does the knowledge of the self remove ignorance? How do we use Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana? That means you retain something and then you drop something. We discussed this last week. What should we do to come to this ultimate reality called as the self? Okay, so that is the inner essence of this particular verse. Shravanam means knowledge about Aikya. Jiva, Brahma, Aikya, Jnanam is Shravanam. The oneness between the self and Ishvara. Jiva and Brahma. Brahma means the creator. There is one common denominator. And the Shravanam is to arrive at the knowledge of Jiva and Brahman through the Mahavakyam by the process of Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana. See, this is the full definition of Shravana. I hope it's very clear. If it is not clear, you can ask me at the end of the session. I will explain this to you. If you have any doubt on this, you can ask me. Anusandhana means the mind always contemplates. You have to, the Anusandhana means it is, you need to contemplate on the nature of this Atma. Then only what will happen? It will go to your subconscious mind. yuktya sambhavitatva anusandhanam mananam tu tat. It defines what is mananam. Mananam means trying to register the truth which you have heard through Shravanam and how it is retained in your mind without a single doubt. No more questions. You are very clear at the end of your contemplation, you should be saying with full confidence, I am this Atma. Okay? So that is about Shravanam and Mananam. Now next let's go to Nididhyasana.
ताभ्यां निर्विचिकित्स्यर्थे चेतस स्थापितस्य यत् एकतानत्वमेतद्वे निधिध्यासनमुच्यते
What does this verse say? This verse says that by Shravanam and Mananam, the mind develops a conviction. Then it develops this conviction that I am the self, I am consciousness. Suppose your mind understands what is consciousness and it says, I am that consciousness. Holding on to that consciousness without any break is the process of meditation. See, many times we do so many meditations, we have done so many meditation exercises. What we are doing is, we are trying to hold our mind to that consciousness. We have, in all our meditation sessions, our attempt has been to drop our other thoughts and then focus on the Vedantic thought. And the Vedantic thought is Aham Brahma Asmi. I am that consciousness. If I'm able to hold on to that, that is what is called as Nididhyasa. Nididhyasa means it is a process, it's a deliberate process of sitting down in meditation. In the next verse onwards, Swami Vidyaranya will talk to us more detail about this meditation from 50 next verse onwards up to 60th verse. So in this verse, what is said is Shravanam and Mananam. We have seen in the last verse what it is. Doubt regarding the object of knowledge must be removed. Before this happens, before this meditation of Nididhyasana, you must remove your doubts about the nature of Atma. How can I be the Atma? What is that I which says I am the Atma? All the doubts should be removed. Then only the mind will be stable. Otherwise, the mind will keep on throwing thoughts. Suppose the mind keeps on throwing thoughts after thoughts after thoughts. That means your mind is not become pure. The moment it becomes pure, that state of purity of mind is called as samadhi. Vedanta is a means to know the self is this Brahman. Brahman means what? Consciousness, that's all. And what are the verses which we are studying? They're all means. But what is the end? End is to know Aham Brahma Asmi. Each one of you can say, I am of the nature of consciousness. If you are able to hold on to that thought, not only for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but if you can hold that thought throughout your life at the background, see, your actions will keep on growing. It'll keep on going. Pashyan, Shrinban, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Sopan, Gita chapter 9, 4th verse. Lord Krishna says that all the activities will go on. But for a Jivan Mukta, he has an advantage. He knows at the back of his mind that I don't do any action. I am Sakshi Chaitanya. I don't do anything. That is the meaning of that beautiful verse of the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And it is, you should keep that in mind as a goal. And it is, you keep it as a goal to be reached. It is not the 9th chapter, it is the 5th chapter, sorry. It is the 5th chapter, 8th mantra. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyete tattvavit pashyan shrinvan svishan jigran ashnan gachan sopan shwasan. This is the 8th verse of the 5th chapter. What does this verse say? Aham naiva kinchit karomi. What is this aham naiva kinchit karomi? Means I don't do anything. What does that I stand for? I stands for consciousness. So even after knowing this knowledge that I am Atma, your life will go on as before. There is no change in your life. It is only an internal change through the Mahavakyam, through these verses of Panchadasi, Upanishads. Internally, your mind will understand that knowledge happens only when there is a pramata, pramanam, and prameya. Pramata means the knower, ego factor. Prameya means the objects. Pramata is the knower. Pramanam is the sense organs. For objective knowledge, the sense organs will give you what is happening in the external world. But to know the subject, you have to use the pramanam, which is called as Vedanta pramanam, which is the Shastra, Upanishadic mantras. That is useful for what? To know who I am, to know I am the Atma, you have to use the Vedantic. That's what we do in our meditation exercises. We always take Vedantic meditation in which we take some of the Upanishads or we take Vivek Chudamani to analyze who I am. So through the doubt which is regarding the self is removed by mananam. Okay, so that is what is said in this mantra. And the last stage is nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam is a process to hold the mind in the thought of oneness. It's possible. You see, once you have learned to do it in the seat of meditation, with the eyes closed, you say to yourself, I am the jiva, I am the nature of consciousness. What I experience in the world is Paramatma. He is also of the nature of consciousness. With reference to consciousness, there is no difference. There is no outside and inside for consciousness. Outside and inside is there for the body. The moment I open my eyes, I can see my body. So what causes the division is the body, which is the upadhi. It is the medium of transaction. But what is there? Consciousness, awareness. Does this consciousness die? No. Consciousness never dies. That is what we are going to do it in our meditation, which we did last week also. Today also we are going to do the aksharam part of it. Aksharam means consciousness never loses itself. It's always there. Since creation, before creation, after pralayam also, consciousness will remain. Okay, so to make this single flow of thought is called as nididhyasanam. Continuously, one thought is always there in your mind. I am conscious, I am conscious, I am conscious. That is my awareness, that is my awareness. I am alert. I am alert to what? I am not the jiva, which is identified with a particular body, but I am the consciousness in which all the bodies exist, in which the entire creation exists. Mayeva sakalam jatam, mai sarvam pratishtitam, mai sarvam layam yati. Tad brahma aham asmi. I am that pure consciousness. Once you have learned to sit in meditation and discover that truth, you can keep your eyes open during your transactions and realize the same truth. All jnanis, they interact with the world. They teach, they create ashrams, they run ashrams. And they do so many activities. But then at the back of their mind, that tambura is always going on. I am conscious being. I am a conscious being. When you do that, what happens? There is no samsara for you. What is the meaning of samsara? I am dukhi. I am sorrowful. That thought disappears. That is what happens with nididhyasana. Your mindset changes. What is the ultimate result? We'll be seeing that in the 61st verse. What happens to you when you do continuously this meditation? What happens to you? That is what is discussed in the 61st verse, which we'll see later on. So again, I have put here, Shravanam means getting clarity of the message through listening. Don't, at any time, always remember these three words, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. They're very simple words, but you must understand, and they all refer to the process. I am a jiva jiva means what? Individuality. But what do I get the knowledge from the Upanishads? I'm not an individual, but I am the consciousness in which the individuality comes and goes. This notion of I am a jiva must be dropped because it is a habit. By habit, I've been thinking that I am a male, I am a female, I am rich, I am poor, I am a dumb girl, I am a very intelligent boy. All that notions, these are all wrong notions. They are all misconceptions when you come to Vedanta. When you come to Vedanta, the only thing, one thought you should have is, I am a conscious being. That's all. Let that thought remain continuously. All other thoughts, let it come and go, come and go. The whole life is what? The thoughts will come, you will act in the world, but what Vedanta says is, body is acting, the mind is thinking, action is going on, but you are consciousness. See how beautiful the structure of this whole Vedantic process of knowing ourselves is. And how beautifully Vidyaranya brings out these things is amazing in this first chapter. When you go through this chapter itself, all these topics should come in your mind. When you revise this with the help of the notes, when you revise this, you can formulate your own notes about this chapter. After going through this chapter, you can write down your own notes. Many people do that because my notes are very, very elaborate. You can make a very simple one and say, this is what I have understood. And then contemplate on it. Okay? Where does this Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasam, where is this process mentioned? It is mentioned in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This is the mantra. Atmavare Drishtabhyaha. That is the meaning, that is what is said by Yajnavalkya Guru. There is an acharya who is mentioned in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. In different Upanishads, you have different names of gurus. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya is the hero. He is the guru of the main guru in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Now he says this Atma has to be seen. Drishtabhyaha. Atmavare Drishtabhyaha. Drishtabhyaha means what? It should be realized by all of us. And what is the process of realizing this? This is a very, very important mantra in the Upanishadic literature. And the last portion, see, when the self, oh dear, is realized by being heard, reflected on, and meditated on, all this becomes known. All this means what? The entire Jagat becomes known. How? By meditating that I am the conscious being. In this conscious being, this whole Jagat is coming and going, waking state comes, dream state comes, sleep state comes, again the waking state comes. So this mantra of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is extremely popular amongst all mumukshus. Mumukshus means all those people who are very keen to know the self. You should also keep this in mind that, because see, some of these mantras, if you keep it in a small diary, say you make a list of say 50 mantras or 100 mantras, which you see when we do all these studies, you should remember some of the important mantras which we study. And then keep glossing at it once in 3 months or 6 months, so that you are in touch with the essence of the whole process of self-realization. And this is one of the most important mantras. The self is aparoksham, everything else is paroksham. I have explained this to you in my previous talks, so I won't go into the depth of this. Aparoksham means I am the self. That I, you have to claim it as my own experience. When you say I am that pure consciousness, that is what is called as aparoksha jnanam. Suppose you say there is some Brahman, there is God, there is some consciousness, that is paroksha. It is not a direct knowledge for you, but it is an indirect knowledge. Through Shravanam, we get indirect knowledge about the self. Like the self is Satchidananda, Brahma Vida Apnoti Param. Taittiriya Upanishad defines what is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. But that has to get converted into I am that self through mananam, and nididhyasana. Okay? So this Atmavare Drishtavyaha, Shrotravyaha, Mantravyaha, Nididhyasitavyaha. And what is the means of the knowledge? The means of the knowledge is the Shastra Pramana. The means is the Mahavakya Jnanam. And what are the doubts? Doubt about what is the central message of the Bhagavad Gita. You should know at any, you see, if suppose you study the text, you should know what is the central message of that text. Any Upanishad also, when you study Panchadasi also, what is the central message? 65 verses are there, but 65 verses, what is the central message? The central message is, I am Atma Swarupam. If I can get to know this knowledge without any doubt, if I have doubts, the process to clear the doubts is manam. Okay, this is just a revision of the 53rd verse and then the 54th verse. This is the chapter 4th, chapter 5th verse, 5th section, 6th verse. Okay, 4, 5, 6. Atmavare Drishtavya, that comes in 4th chapter, 5th section, 6th section, 6th verse. Very easy to remember, 4, 5, 6. And Patanjali Yoga Sutra defines this dhyanam as tatra pratyaikantana dhyanam. Tatra, that means an unbroken flow of knowledge is what is called as dhyana. Suppose you say in your seat of meditation, I am of the nature of consciousness. Consciousness is never born. Consciousness never dies. You keep on dwelling on the consciousness, whatever you have heard in the scriptures. That is called as dhyana. Suppose you're discussing, when you're in your mind, you're thinking about consciousness, and then suddenly thought about Narayana comes, that Narayana is in the bank, I have to do something else with him tomorrow. That is, you have to bring back the thought to this Atma again and again. Our mind has a tendency to go after our vasanas. That is the main problem with our meditation. Okay? Methodology of meditation is the same in yoga and Vedanta. Samadhi means samyak adhiyati. I'm just giving you an introduction to the next verse because we are going to talk about what is this nididhyasanam process, how I can be absorbed in samadhi. Samadhi means, this is the definition of samadhi, yeah? As per Yoga Shastra. Samyak adhiyati. An intellect which is well placed in its swarupa. Our intellect normally is thinking about thoughts. That is not swarupa. The swarupam is consciousness. Effortlessly, you just abide in that swarupa. That is what is called as samadhi. Okay. What I will do is I will go to the next verse because these are all some details of these are some details about the meditator, meditation, and the object of meditation. These are all very basic. Like the meditator means what? I am the meditator. Meditation means what? The process of meditation. When we are in the meditation, I am the consciousness. Consciousness is never born. That is what is called as dhyanam. And dhyaya means what? What is the object of meditation? I, the subject. Okay? Then this meditation is about myself, but it is changing thoughts. That is what is called as savikalpakam or savikalpa samadhi. Okay? Anyway, I will be talking more about this in the next verse, but again, this is just an introduction as to what is the difference between nirvikalpa samadhi and savikalpa samadhi. Nirvikalpa means there is no other thoughts except I, consciousness. That's it. There is no vikalpa. Vikalpa means there is no modification in thoughts. Okay? What is the object of meditation? Atma. This Atma, once it is meditated continuously as its nature, so, there are different natures discussed in the Upanishads. When we keep on rotating our mind regarding the nature, then it is called as savikalpa. With change of vrittis. Okay? Here in the 55th verse, I will introduce, I'm not so sure whether I can complete this verse, but nevertheless, let us just enter into the topic of samadhi. Having spoken today, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasnam, the next step is what? To know what is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. I will play the sorry, there's some light problem.
ध्यातृध्याने परित्यज्य ध्यातृध्याने परित्यज्य क्रमाद्येयकगोचरम् निवातदीपवञ्चित्तं समाधिरभिधीयते समाधि अविधीयते.
This verse talks about Nididhyasnam with an example. It's a very beautiful example from the Bhagavad Gita. When the mind gradually leaves off the ideas that I am the meditator, I am meditating, and when it drops the idea that I am in meditation, that I-ness in meditation is dropped, then what happens? It is called as a samadhi state. The mind gets absorbed in consciousness itself naturally. There is no more effort involved. That is what is called as nirvikalpa samadhi. Vikalpa means what? Change. Your thought, your vritti is changing. Nirvikalpa means what? There is no, it is a changeless absorption of myself in consciousness. Because we are all doing this meditation, we will be able to understand this easily. Because many a times in meditation, you will find that your mind is stopped thinking. It is just absorbed in something. We don't know what it is. Here Vidyaranya says that is what is called as absorption in the self. How is this compared with what it is compared with in the Bhagavad Gita? This verse comes, I think I have put the verse somewhere, but anyway, the meaning of the verse is what? Chapter 6, this verse comes in of Bhagavad Gita. It says, like a flame which is kept in a dark room. Okay? A flame which is kept in a dark room and there is no breeze. Breezeless. There's no breeze, and what will happen to the flame? It will remain motionless. Like that, if my mind is able to not flicker with any other thought, that mind is called as the mind in samadhi. Okay? This is what is the ultimate in meditation. It is nice to know what is the ultimate nature. And there are these verses from 55 onwards till the 60th verse. We will be trying to understand this nature of samadhi. Normally, what happens? There is a meditator. I am meditating. Dhyanam, dhyatru, and dhyayam. Meditator, meditation. What is meditation? Dhyan. I am making the effort. This is what is called as normal meditation, where you make an effort. But and what happens? That I goes away and you just remain in the thoughtless state. That thoughtless state is called as nirvikalpa samadhi. In all actions, eating, walking, writing, I have a sense of acting. I am the doer. The ego is involved. In sleep, there is no ego. Sleep and meditations are very, very close. Sometimes you ask, did I meditate or did I go to sleep? Because they are very, very close in nature. But there are some differences. Main difference is sleep is tamo gunaha. It is prakriti tamo guna. Whereas meditation means what? It is being absorbed in your own nature, which is you're totally aware in nididhyasana, in meditation, in samadhi, you're aware that you are there. That is awareful consciousness. Whereas sleep is awareless consciousness. I don't have any awareness. That is what is called as ajnana. In savikalpa, thought flow is maintained. What we normally do in our meditation is savikalpa meditation. That means we keep on changing our thoughts and rotate it around the same topic, which is Atma. In Shravanam, we get the knowledge, Aham Brahma Asmi. In Mananam, we logically understand what is this Aham and what is this Brahma. Brahma means what? Totality. There is oneness between the Aham and the Brahman. That is what is the common denominator, which is called as Aham Brahma Asmi. When you are in this one single thought, I am that consciousness, I am that consciousness, I am that consciousness, only one thought flow is there. That is called as Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Triputi. What is Triputi? Meditator, meditation, and the object of meditation. When these three are gone, then it is called as samadhi state. Okay? Like the flame, which I've explained to you, a flame, this thought, like the flame which is in a breezeless room, it can remain bright. Similarly, my mind is bright with no other thoughts except the thought, I am Brahman, I am consciousness. And it is called as akhanda akara vritti. Akhanda means what? It is a mass of consciousness, one mass of consciousness in which there is no other thought except itself. Khandam means a division. Normally what happens, my mind is always divided. I have to do that, I have to do that. No, I will not do this, I will not do this. Again, it will keep on pendulum. You know, that pendulum is not akhanda kara vritti. Akhanda kara vritti means I am that pure nature, prajnanam brahma. Suppose I say, or I say aham brahma asmi. Okay? When I say this, what happens? That single thought, when it remains, it is called as samadhi. In this samadhi state, Vidyaranya says that our ignorance about ourself goes away. Because I think I'm the body, that is a misconception. What is the right thinking? I am the Atma. Okay? I will stop here. Next week, I will do this revision portion about this slide here. And then we will revise the other slides of Samadhi portion before we take the next verse. Okay? These are 4-5 verses. We are going very, very deep into our mind. When we understand this process of how Vidyaranya discusses meditation, this is a very rare section in Panchadasi or any other text also. Not in many places this type of depth in meditation is discussed. Okay, so I'll go a little bit more deeper in the next few verses, 3-4 verses about this aspect of meditation. But with this, I will stop here for today. We'll resume this 437 slide next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudacchate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So Shanmugam is unmuted, everybody. So in case you would like to have a question about today's session, you are free to unmute yourself and ask the question. I'll try to answer if possible.
Secondly,
Bolo Baba.
Earlier I read a verse, they say, why the world is created. What's the reason behind it?
About why the world was created. What is the reason behind it? Because God has created the world. He has created the world. He has created the universe. 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 He has cre Well, they see the Shastra gives very different answers about this world.
Mm.
When we see the world, we say the most prominent reason why they say the Lord created this world. In this Upanishads, they say that this world was created for the jivas, for you and me. See, the world means what? The external world, which consists of so many different things in this universe, right from planets to to this earth to the whole cosmos. And why is this created? It is for the jivas. And how many jivas are there? As many bodies are there, so many jivas are there. Now jivas have existed in all periods of time. Always jiva is there. Whether you see the jiva or you don't see a jiva, in the sleep state, you don't see the jiva. You don't see yourself. Jivas exist. So with the body or without the body, the jivas exist. So the world was created for the jivas to come and exhaust their prarabdha karma.
Yeah.
You are supposed to do certain actions. You were born, you live in this world maybe 100 years. Throughout your life, you're doing only actions. Either you're learning or doing actions. 99% of the people are just acting, right from birth till date. You're moving, you are doing actions. And what is the end result of the action? Only two things. Either you get a joy or you get sorrow. All jivas, there are only two results. In any action you do, you play the role of a mother, play a role of a father, or as a student, or as a son, as a sister. Throughout your life, you're just playing roles after roles and roles. So your direct answer to your question, why was this world created? The world was created for the sake of jivas to come into a particular environment. You may be living in America, or you may live in India, or you may live in Singapore. So the world is created for the jivas to come. You may enjoy certain things in the world. That is happiness. That there is joy in the world also. And there is sorrow also. So we being human beings, we have both. So as per the karma of the jivas, the blueprint is given to God to create this world. Okay? So that is the answer to the question, to your direct question, why was this world created?
Can we say it is, just like a child going to a primary school and upgrade himself and slowly going to college and universities and all this through the spiritual classes or whatever?
Correct. See, what happens is when you do actions, your actions can result in you climbing the ladder of jiva, or you can fall down. So if you do good actions, you will start coming into such classes. This is a force of nature. How you came into this class, nobody knows. You just came. If you really find out, there is some cosmic law which brings you into this class. So another way the Upanishads, they describe why this world was created is for the sake of purushartha. We all have four purusharthas: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Moksha is the last. So as you keep growing in spirituality, you move from dharma to, from kama you move, from artha you move, and then ultimately what you do, you are interested to know only God. That's it. That is the only goal you have in life. Before you had many, many desires. As a child, you wanted to study, then you wanted to get a job, then you wanted to have a family, then you wanted to do so many things in life. You wanted to have grandchildren, so many things you had. But one goal becomes very, very prominent for you. And that is, I want to learn about my own nature. Who am I? I want to know who is this God who has created this entire universe. The Veda has a very beautiful answer for this. Upanishads have a fantastic answer for this. The discovery of that God in your own self then becomes the last goal. I want to discover the Lord in my own inner essence. That is what is called as mumukshutva. You can be a grahastha, you can be a householder having this goal. All of us are householders. We are seeking something in this universe, and there is a lot of joy in the process itself. By coming to these type of sessions, what happens is our mind becomes quiet. In a quiet mind, knowledge arises. When knowledge arises, just now we did this meditation about the self, nityaha, atma, param, all that. It becomes meaningful to me because I can experience it. And according to the scriptures, this is the highest what you can achieve in your birth. Highest. There is nothing beyond this. So, very beautiful question. Contemplate on what I have told you, then you will get the inner meaning of that.
But
So,
can't we
Vishnu,
have that kind of life in heaven itself, brother?
Sorry?
Can we have the same life in heaven like the devas or whatever?
Yeah, it is possible. Yeah, it is possible. The Devata is what? It is another being, you see. Devatas are also beings like us, but they have done a lot of punyam in their life, in their previous lives. That is why they are holding the post of Deva. Agni Devata, Indra Devata, there are different levels of beings in this cosmos. If you aspire to be a Devata and you start doing rituals and then you progress on one by one, then it is possible for you to become a Devata also. There are many people to become. They have a desire to become Devata. See, that is why people do Upasana. One of the ways you become a Devata is you do meditation on a particular Devata. You take a picture of Rama. Keep on meditating on Lord Rama or Hanumanji. Slowly you will start imbibing the qualities of the Lord in you, and you'll start feeling. It's possible. Good. Yeah, Vishal, you had something?
yes, sir. Can I just continue with this question for clarity? Why this world was created? This is my understanding, and I may be corrected. So, there were 2-3 answers I got, and I don't know which one is right. So we can discuss it. One answer I got was that in spirituality, we must never ask the question why, because there is no answer to why. There may be an answer to how, but no answer to why, because why is infinite. You can keep asking why, and nobody knows why. So that was one answer I got from my readings or whatever, I don't know where. The other one answer I got was it's Leela. It's actually the Brahman wanting to experience itself, wanting the desire to experience itself. So it has created all this. and it is experiencing itself through the jivas, and it's experiencing itself, through its creation. That's why it was created. So these two answers I had in my mind. In case you can elaborate.
Yeah, you see, Vishal, there are many theories about why this world was created. If you read the Bhagavatam, you'll find that the world is just Krishna's leelas. The whole world is a leela. Leela means it's a play of the Lord. But then there are certain intellects, there are certain people who will get satisfied with one answer. There are certain people who will get satisfied with another answer. There is no right or wrong answer for this. Whatever answer you feel that suits your intellect, take it.
Understood, sir. Understood.
Okay.
Thank
So,
you. Understood.
There are karmic laws. There are certain. When you read the scriptures, the what is mentioned in the Veda Purva is about karma phalams. So that is the answer which I was trying to give it to Babu Bhai.
Understood, sir. Thank you.
Okay, good. I like your commentary about other views also. That's fine. Neeta is saying we can't use our own logic. This is what we have gathered from today's session. Are the karmic laws and the gunas, which seem very logical to me, not getting us anywhere, part of mithya? Oh, okay. See, one thing we should understand is, as long as we don't know ourselves, there will be a lot of questions about the world. And let it be there, doesn't matter. Whether it is karmic laws, whether it is gunas, gunas and karma, they are related. That is the chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita and the karma theory, they are completely related because it is a guna. Guna means what? It is prakriti. One level higher than the action field. See, karma means it is the law of action reaction. But why this happens, how it happens is explained by the guna theory, prakriti. There are three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, that is acting in this universe. And that is what you see. When you see your body is acting, actually what? It is not the body which is acting, it is the gunas which are acting through your body and mind. That is the way you should see. When you are acting, you should know that it is the body which is acting. If you have studied the Bhagavad Gita well, you will realize this one specific point which Lord Krishna makes it again and again, and that is, see that the body is acting, mind is acting, but you are a sakshi, you are a witness of that action. Keep that as one of the primary lessons of Bhagavad Gita. The chapter 5, which I told you today, that verse, keep that, because that defines what is the meaning of Jivan Mukti. See, Jivan Mukti is a Sanskrit word. It simply means that you don't consider yourself as the jiva, as the thinking individual, acting individual. You are only thinking, I am the consciousness. So to answer your question, yes, they are logical. Karma theory and the gunas, they are extremely logical. Is it mithya? 100% mithya. 100%. Mithya means what? I can experience it, but it is not a fact.
Yeah.
That is the what I should understand. Mithya means what? Remember this definition of mithya. What is the definition of mithya? Very important definition. It is experienceable, but it is not factual.
Oh.
Experientially, it is there. But does the body and mind ever live forever? No. It dies. The body dies. It may go off. It may change. It has got, so it goes through certain laws of this cosmic world. which is the karma theory and the guna theory and so on. But what doesn't change is the consciousness. That is my goal. When I come to Vedanta, when I come to these talks, you should keep in mind this fundamental thing. I must know I am conscious. I am this consciousness, awareness, consciousness. Today in our talk, what did we discuss? We keep this thought continuously throughout our life.
Yeah.
So it becomes a habit for me. I don't have to, initially you may have to keep putting an effort. I am the consciousness, I am awareness, and so on. But after some time, what happens? Many people have done it, and it becomes a habit to think that I am the awareness all the time. That awareness doesn't leave. So you should analyze your question and answer perfect. But ultimately, the final answer is you should fall into the lap of consciousness. Okay.
You need a sane body to do this. For example, people who have dementia or Alzheimer, they wouldn't be able to do this anymore, right?
Yeah, that doesn't matter. You see, whether you say it or not, you're still consciousness.
Yeah.
In sleep, do you say anything? No. Do you have a body in sleep? I don't even know whether I have a body in sleep.
Yeah, true.
So what is this consciousness? This consciousness is independently existing without the body, without the mind. It is always is.
Yeah.
And that is the ultimate level in which my mind has to go. That is the highest level.
Yeah. To take the mind away. Yeah.
Yes.
To take the mind always away from the worldly matters continuously.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. Continuously.
Now you got it.
Yeah. This is the practice every day. Take it back.
Take it back. Yes.
Take it back. Take it
Again
back.
and again, tell yourself.
Again.
Let that thought remain all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Thank
I'm glad
you.
you
Yes.
got the answer. I can see the spark in your eyes.
Yeah, this is what's happening every day. Taking myself back
Yes.
from.
Okay, Jacqueline, you have a question?
Yes, Mr. Shekhar. Just now, did you mention that, I'm not sure whether I hear it correctly, the Ishvara is equal to the world?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, what is it?
Ishwaran is equal to the world.
Ishvara is the world. Yeah, at higher level, yes. When you say that Ishvara means what? There is a controller of this world. Either you focus on what you see through your physical eyes, you're only seeing form. You're seeing the form of the world through your eyes. You can hear through your sound, different sounds you hear. But what is the substratum of this universe? The substratum means it is the Lord. It is Ishvara. Without that Ishvara, there is no universe at all.
So the Ishvara is also the creator of the world, but because we are human beings and therefore we are finite to look at what we are, like I'm in Singapore.
Yeah. You see, because we are finite, with a finite body and a finite mind and a finite set of sense organs, we are not able to know the nature of the Lord or our own nature. We are not able to know. That is why we come to Veda, we come to Upanishads, and then we learn how to drop this body and then know that I am the consciousness.
Shekhar.
Are you clear, Jacqueline?
Okay, appreciate. Yes.
Okay.
Shekhar.
Yeah.
Shekhar.
Yeah.
I like to ask you whether by Shraddha and devotion, it leads to true nature.
Through Shraddha and devotion, whether we can drop the nature.
I read to you this one, whether it is appropriate or not. Believe what you don't see and experience what you believe. Then the next one is devotion with faith is born when the knowledge of the truth is experienced as bliss.
Sure. Whatever you're saying is correct. You're right. It's right. Whatever you're reading to me is perfect. See, what happens is today I don't know consciousness, but I'm trying to learn about that consciousness. So it is a belief. How do I hold on to that belief? With Shraddha and Bhakti.
Ah,
With faith and devotion, I can hold on to that belief as that it is not a truth for me today. I only believe because it is said in the scriptures.
right.
So Shraddha and faith are important. Faith and Bhakti is important to hold on to that for a certain period of time. I keep on holding to that belief. But after 5 years, what happens? That belief becomes truth for me.
Yeah, become your nature.
It becomes my nature because I've been
Correct.
believing it. You see, yatha yatha upasate, that means as you think, so you become.
I see.
As you think, you become that. Suppose you keep on thinking, I am a conscious being. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am a conscious being. If you keep on thinking, you become consciousness.
You got it.
Okay, so that is how you change and transform yourself. The whole spiritual exercise is transformation from identification with the body as me, with the mind as me, to consciousness as me.
Yeah.
That is the beauty. We are all normal people. We always have, without the knowledge of the scriptures, we think we are the body. It's a natural, it is a natural conclusion. But after we come to the spiritual study, we have to grow, we have to mature from our convictions.
Right.
And that is where Shraddha and Bhakti are very, they are the legs on which the whole spirituality rests. That's what Taittiriya Upanishad says. Taittiriya Upanishad says that these are the legs on which the Atma rests.
Oh, I see.
Okay, very good. I'm glad you brought this point. There is another point from Chitra. Thank you, Chandra.
Yeah, thank you.
We say Mahapurush attained Samadhi. Like Ramana Maharshi, Shankaracharya, they attained Samadhi. This Samadhi we are learning now, is it the same meaning? Okay. See, when we say they attained Samadhi, normally we use this phrase when somebody passes away. When somebody passes away, he attains Samadhi means he is dead and gone, and he is living as he has attained Samadhi means he has become the Purusha, he has become the conscious being, he has become the cosmic being. That is the general phrase in which we use Samadhi. Samadhi can be used in many ways, with many meanings. So there, when we say, we are talking about a person who has passed away, who is gone. He has attained Samadhi. That is different than what we are discussing. What we are discussing is, while living, you attain Samadhi.
Oh, okay.
Means it is Jivan Mukta status.
Right. Okay.
It is Jivan Mukta status is called as Samadhi. Jivan Mukta status means what? I don't think I am the individual in my inner intrinsic self. You see, in my normal day-to-day activities, I will still be the body and mind acting. But in my own analysis of the whole cosmos about myself, because of this knowledge, which I have gone through because of the some grace of Lord or whatever you may say, some blessing I have got.
Yes.
I have this knowledge and I am I'm able to hold on to the feeling that I am the conscious being. Whatever I have learned in my life, if I can just remember this, that is what is called as the samadhi, which we are learning.
So this is our journey.
Correct. It is
Yeah.
our journey. It is our individual journey which we are learning. It is not the samadhi which we are talking about with reference to Ramana
The
Maharishi,
okay.
Shankaracharya and all that.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shekharji, can I just add something?
Yeah, go ahead, Vignesh.
See, I mean, the today's Vidyaranya Swamiji, like the particular verse, he has confirmed that one can see Atma by following Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyas.
Yes.
And as a jiva, we have so many doubts and this thing and all. It's happening because with whatever we have that limited indriyas, we just try to see actually logically. The whole analysis we are trying to do logically with that finitudeness. But when we come to the stage of Nididhyasa, the meditation, it is basically a journey from finitude to the infinitude. It's sound to the silence.
Correct.
Yeah. It is state of totally and effortless actually, where there are no vritti, nothing and all that. So for this state to attain, it will be difficult to analyze anything with the limited we always try to analyze things logically, but certain things even in this world itself we cannot find out any logical answer. For example, if we take a sphere, we do not know what is the starting point.
Yeah.
It looks so, it is right in front of us. So the whole cosmic world is something like a very secret. So sometimes that is why I agree with one of the person who has asked, can we question some of these things? We can question, but because of this limited instruments, we will not be able to find out any logical reasoning for that, because the whole cosmic world is non-linear.
Correct.
So
you see, that is why we have to use the Shastra.
So the Shastras are the ultimate actually.
Correct.
And for that Shastras, like what has been said, that Shraddha and devotion are the important. The absolute faith is the most important thing. Once we have faith in the Shastras, that will guide us, because they are there for millions and millions of years. It's not the Shastras are just all these Vedas, Upanishads and all. They're ancient actually. They are the guide. Because I'm really surprised. This is the first time I'm just saying, though we have gone through the Brihadaranyaka and you have shown that particular one where that sloka, where it has given that Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasa and all. But Vidyaranya Swami has very specifically confirmed that it is possible to see the Atma.
Correct.
That's very
that's right.
amazing.
That is what we are now going to seeing the process of samadhi. These verses on samadhi from 55 to 60. I've got another 4 or 5 verses more on this samadhi state itself. So Vidyaranya is saying it is possible for normal beings like us also to reach that state. and just become aware. That's all.
Even in the Adi Shankaracharya's the Digdishya, Viveka also, Savikalpa, Nirvikalpa.
Yes, that's correct. That is another text where this whole process of meditation
Whole
comes.
process explained.
Yes.
Basically, every one of us, by doing meditation, we will be able to go through that Savikalpa. I mean, gradually, when we do meditation and all, the thoughts start reducing, and all. Ultimately, you will attain a no thought state, but that will be for a very short period. Again, you will get back into the thought process. So that is Savikalpa. When you can enlarge that particular period of thoughtless period, that is how we can enter into the Nirvikalpa Samadhi.
Yes.
It's a very beautiful analysis, this verses, what I'm saying actually. Yeah.
Thank you, Venkatesh. Thank you.
Mr. Shekhar, one more question.
Yeah, Jacqueline.
The I is the pure consciousness. I is equal to pure consciousness, and
Yes.
I am is also equal to pure consciousness, right?
Yes.
But what I'm saying that
I am, Jacqueline, is not pure consciousness.
yes, but then in fact the I is a big I, the small I is the personal. But when I say I, it refers to pure consciousness also, right?
Correct. That's right. The moment you stop with I am, that is what is your nature.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means I is equal to I am is equal to pure consciousness is equal to Satchit Ananda is equal to Om.
Correct.
Okay.
Perfect. You have got the whole Vedanta now. You don't need anything else.
No, I need to. The reason is I may not understand all the Sanskrit, but I just need to understand this is equal to this, you know. So
Yes,
I always remind myself on that. Okay, appreciate.
Good. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you. Okay, so if there are no other questions, we'll stop for the day, and then we'll continue this text next week. And I'm still contemplating whether I should do chapter 2 of Panchadasi or take up Mandukya Upanishad Bhashyam. So I'll let you know. By the, there'll be, I think about 4 or 5 sessions will be required for closing this chapter. I'm tempted to take Mandukya Bhashyam. I'm still getting ready with the notes, and but Mandukya Bhashyam will take a long time to finish.
Mr. Shekhar, one question. Panchadasi, you have not finished the entire 15th chapter, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So, is there any reason you didn't want to finish the entire 15th chapter? And
no. You see, the 15th chapter it will take a long time.
Mandukya or another?
Yeah.
Yes.
There is a lot of yes coming from Mandukya Bhashyam. So what? Anyway, most probably, let me see. I'm still contemplating, so I'll let you know in about 3-4 sessions. Most probably, I think you will all enjoy Mandukya because it's the greatest of all the Upanishads, and Shankaracharya's Bhashyam is amazing.
Okay, I thought you have another one. There's one big one. I forgot what is the name, how to pronounce it. Okay. Mahavakya.
No, this is a part of Mahavakya only. Mandukya Bhashyam is a part of Mahavakya.
Oh, it's part of Mahavakya. Okay. Okay.
This chapter 2 will take how many sessions, Shekharji?
Yeah, what is it?
Chapter 2 will take how many sessions?
Oh, chapter 2 will take a long time. I think it'll take at least 6 months.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a long chapter. It's a long chapter. If you want, I'm trying to look at the chapter.
Oh, my
This chapter 2 is 90. It's got 109 verses.
My God, I'm the finished one whole year, I think.
So I can give you maybe just a summary of chapter 2, and then I start with Mandukya next year on the 16th of January. I can do that. Says on Wednesday, the 17th of January. Either I can start Mandukya now, after I finish chapter 1, or I can just give you a running, just a quick glance at chapter 2, and then on the 17th of January, I start with Mandukya Upanishad. There is a lot of interest in Mandukya Vashyam.
Yeah, I think I like the Mandukya.
Yes, there is a lot of interest in Mandukya.
Your voice, sir.
So let me
wait, no, okay, but apology to interrupt.
It's possible, wasn't it?
yeah, okay.
What is the then Panchadasi?
Sorry?
Why is it Mandukya is much more light, lovable than Panchadasi?
Because it's Upanishad, you know. Upanishad is the source book for Panchadasi.
Yeah.
You're going to the source. Okay. I'll give you, Jacqueline, I'll just tell you what Mandukya is about. Mandukya, no, just hold on a minute.
Okay.
Mandukya Upanishad is a description, it's an analysis of 3 states: waking, dream, sleep. If you want to know who you are in these 3 states, you have to know 12 mantras, 12 verses of Mandukya Upanishad.
Who you are? Oh.
Who am I in the waking state? Who am I in the dream state? Who am I in the sleep state? And is there anything which is beyond these 3 states? If you want to have an answer to these 3 questions, you have to study Mandukya.
Okay.
That gives me you know, upfront summary, because I thought Panchadasi. Apologize that I asked so many questions, because I just
thought no problem. It's okay.
Panchadasi was in the 15. You know, it was one of the deepest. You know, Upanishad.
No, what we have done is one of the deepest texts available. Panchadasi, whatever we have done 4-5 chapters. But I think 4-5 chapters, you have a fairly good glimpse, and you have got to know how Vidyaranya, this author, treats this subject matter. That was the idea in which I wanted to give you, and you have all grasped that. But I think it's important to go back to the roots one more time, which is go back to the Upanishads. And
okay.
Okay.
I just want to understand. Appreciate.
Yeah. Anybody else has any comments on this? Okay.
So Shekharji, are you going through the Karikas also, or is it only the Upanishad?
Yeah, I will be going through the 12 mantras along with the Karikas. There are 29 Karikas. There are 4 chapters in Mandukya Upanishad. The first chapter is 12 mantras and 29 Karikas. The second chapter is about 38 Karikas. The third chapter is about 48 Karikas. The fourth chapter is 100 Karikas. So totally there are 229 Karikas and 12 mantras. So initially, I'm proposing to take only the first chapter, consisting of 12 mantras and 29 karikas or 29 verses. Because I found that the karikas, they give you a very great depth into the study of this Upanishad. Very big depth. You know, if you don't do the karikas, you will not get the depth. So that is why it might take almost 1 full year just to do only these 29 verses and the 12 mantras. The whole of 2024 Wednesday sessions will be just the first chapter. It is very intense. But if you don't want to have such intensity, if you want to have only the glimpse of it, then we just do the mantra. Any other clarifications? Krishna, you want the karikas or you don't want the karikas?
So definitely with karikas, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, good. So I was wanted to be clear. Because many of the other people here, they have already listened to my normal Mandukya 12 verses. You know, it's purely keeping them as a reference. I want to go ahead and take the Shankara Bhashyam. That is a very, very unique thing.
Yeah, Mr. Shekhar, that's what I thought. I think I remember you mentioned about Mandukya in the past to us, right?
Yes, I finished. Yes, with
you
you.
taught us, right? That's why I think, but I wasn't sure. Now I think yes.
Okay, so good. All right.
Thank
you. Okay, thank you. And then let's keep a date of 17th of January for the Mandukya to start. Mandukya with the Bhashyam. 17th January, we will be breaking off from the 16th or 17th of December till 2-3 weeks. When we come back, we'll start the new year. We'll start with this Mandukya Upanishad. But one thing you have to remember: once you enter into Mandukya Upanishad, you have to be very regular in attending these sessions because it is very, very intense. It is extremely intense. It is going to analyze Omkara meditation. I will be doing some meditations on Omkara as prescribed in the Mandukya Upanishad. The way the Mandukya Upanishad wants us to do the meditation, I will try to make an attempt to see whether we can do it. It is not easy, but we will try to attempt. So,
Mr. Shekhar, I have another question. Can you equate karika equal to English is what?
It's verses.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Karika means verses, 29 verses. That's all.
Oh, karika. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Appreciate.
Thank you. All right. So we'll stop here and we'll see how to go ahead with the next week. Samadhi. We are going to go deeper into our mind. You see, Samadhi means, you must remember, it is going deeper into my own mind and holding on the mind to the Atma. That is the process of doing that is what we are discussing in the next 4 or 5 verses up to the 60th verse. After that, 61 to 65 is only the fruit of what happens when you study this spiritual science.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Shekhar.
Namaste.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you.